For me, personally, and again, this is just my opinion, I'm 100% convinced it's not the river. People don't just vanish into thin air. It's absolutely impossible. So something has happened. Something has happened. Find out what it is. Find out what it is. My plea now is, personally, I want every house, every garage, every outbuilding, the land scrutinised. I want it all searched. I want it all scrutinised. Every piece of it. And I'm just pleading with them. Just please. Anything, no matter how tiny. Just.
Welcome back to my mental health and crime channel. My name is Huda London. I'm a licensed cognitive behavior therapist, that's a CBT therapist, and a licensed mental health counselor. Please like, share, and subscribe. To start with, this is for entertainment purpose only. Nicola Bulley was reported missing in St. Michael's by the River Wire on the 23rd of January. Nicola Bulley dropped off her two daughters to the primary school, and she went for a walk with the dog Willow. She parked her car at the school park of her two daughters. Nicola Bulley was very used to this route. There were many dog walkers who used to walk their dog and still walk their dog. It's a beautiful place in St. Michael's by the River Wye. The river goes out to the sea, basically. A huge search was conducted for Nicola. The timeline at the start was that Nicola walked from the school to the bench, but to come to the final destination of the bench, there's a certain part you walk in that doesn't have a CCTV camera. That is Gassing Road. That's the reason law enforcement has asked all the cyclists, motorcyclists at the start to please come up with any footage or any videos or any clips they have of Nicola that day, any surveillance scene of Nicola walking with a dog. It was said that Nicola was last seen walking up the river towpath, that's walking towards the bench. But then later on it was said that dog walkers saw her on the upper and lower field. If the dog walkers saw on the upper and lower field, it is kind of very strange and mysterious because the timeline says that between 10 minutes, Nicola Bulley disappeared. May God rest her soul. Within that 10 minutes, between 9:20 to 9:30, 9:33, when her dog Willow's Highness was found, and when Nicola is mobile, moved to the bench. Now, moving to the bench, that means obviously that somebody put Nicola's phone on the bench. It could be somebody who just found it, like they said, or it could be something that was a third party took place. That is a very possibility. We've heard Scotland Yard former detectives talk about this case, and I advise you all to see them in all the channels on the Sky News and GB News and Channel 5. All of the detectives have said from the start that this case could have been done better. Let's be honest. I have seen a clip today that I'm going to put up of at the start when law enforcement in Lancashire was asked why they did not close down the bench and certain areas as a crime scene. The sergeant said it's because it was beautiful. She said the bench and those areas are sightseeing places. She said like tourist places. Although she didn't use that term, she said kind of people come there to enjoy the beauty and sit around. Now, when you have a case that somebody disappeared, we do not know to start with if this is a murder case. We do not know if this is a missing case, if this is an accidentally drowning case, like law enforcement said. Of course, law enforcement in Lancashire would know much better than us because they have all the theories. They don't have speculations. They have facts, and I respect that. But something doesn't make sense. Like Paul Enser said, someone knows something. He said it twice. Someone knows something. Someone knows something. Then he says, find out what it is. Find out what it is. Now, when people go missing, we can say someone knows something because obviously if something happens and someone disappears, there's always some trace or some witness. So someone knows something in those cases. But for him to say, find out what it is, so is he talking about a third party? And let's remember, keep in mind, be mindful that Paul has repeated that sentence twice. Obviously, people have different ways of analyzing people's behaviors. I'm not an expert in people's behaviors, but I'm a cognitive behavior therapist. And we deal with behavior and thoughts. We study our clients. It's not like we're just sitting in a therapy and just listening to someone is problems or issues. We're actually writing down notes. We're actually studying people's behavior because sometimes a client will say something which is totally opposite of what they mean. And then their behavior could show in their breathing pattern, or if they're avoiding questions, if they have a avoiding personality, if they don't socialize. And I really hate to say it, although it's not our job as CBT therapists, we know we are human beings. We have the skills to see when somebody's lying and when somebody's not. I'm not saying, or I'm not analyzing Paul, because of course his stress levels are up there. But he said it with a high-pitched voice. He said it confidently. He said, someone knows something. Someone knows something. Find out what it is. Find out what it is. Does he want us to find out? Because Paul clearly says, I want every place scrutinized. He said, I want the sheds scrutinized. That's called active listening counseling. He said he wants the garage scrutinized. He wants outbuildings scrutinized. So is Paul trying to tell us to search certain places, or is Paul trying to give us certain places so that he maybe could buy time or whatever? The breathing ways of Paul when he's talking, I can understand. His level of anxiety is high. He has 2 little daughters to think about. I agree, like he said, if I put my mind and focus on Nicola, I have 2 daughters to go home and answer where their mother is. I do respect that and I do understand that. I'm not saying Paul did something. I'm just saying Paul said something has happened. Something has happened. Find out what it is. Find out what it is. And this interview is the second interview. I believe it was done within the first 2 weeks when Nicola Bulley was missing. So his second interview Obviously, he's more confident, he's more clear-minded, although the grief, the pain, the loss, the knowing that chances of Nicola coming back is little, is affecting him and is affecting the family. But there's so many things gone wrong in this case. Why is the world, let's be honest, why is the world